Convert those to Pilar.
Yeah,
Score points there. Yeah,
right.
you'd be good.
Exactly.
Good luck on that.
It's hard to score points at home. Kind of no matter what you do.
You gotta love it.
Okay. Whatever.
I know. Stacy's always like, we never see each other anymore.
Yeah.
Is that a bad thing?
I know, yeah.
Oh, I thought that was
Oh,
great.
good. We're probably live for this, Mick.
Finally
Of
made
course
it.
it's a bad thing, Mick. She'll watch this later, Mick.
Your secret is safe.
Oh, yeah. I can tell. And all the listeners will know.
So whenever you... I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Are we ready? Oh, we're live? Okay, so
we're
we've been
live?
live. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
we're
why I
live.
said,
Oh,
here we
hey,
go.
well,
Welcome to
all
the
of
TED
that-
Show, everyone.
All of that was heard.
Disregard that very first part, please. Don't believe a word Mick said. And there we go.
Ta-da!
Ta-da! So welcome to the TED Show, everyone. I'm not sure where to look, but we're going to just keep talking.
hiding, or what was going
Straggle
on?
in sometimes.
I had no. We didn't know. Skid was even like, "Have you seen Mick?" I was seeing Mick.
I got worried. I really did. I'm sorry.
There was a couple of extra potholes on Maitland.
There you go. Traffic was terrible
Oh
everywhere.
my gosh.
And from our sister station, 103.1 The Wolf, it's Skid. Skid, what's up, pal? How are
I
you?
am doing fabulous.
Thank you for
sir.
being here. Sorry for all the cameras everywhere. We have a bit of a
Freaking me out. Glad I wanted.
marketing. Jake's also here behind the scenes, making sure everything runs properly on social media and whatnot. A very special show today, sort of a dual show, I would say. I brought my good friend in, Ted Bogert. All right, so you've seen him on the Ted Show. You've heard of the Ted Show. You see him all across town. We're actually doing the Ted Show live as we do the radio show.
I love this. This is your brainchild. First of all, thanks for having me, buddy.
Good to see you, brother.
Appreciate
Thanks for
you
coming
having
in
me.
here. I
Thank you,
appreciate it.
guys.
Now, it's worth noting that Ted, the reason I brought him in is because he's had me on his show twice, Mick, okay? But only one time can you actually hear me.
I knew he was going to bring that up.
So the Ted Show, he does live downtown at the Citrus Club pretty much every day, right?
Every day, 5 days a week, plus.
So right before Hurricane Irma hit, he was like, "Hey man, can you come down and do the Ted Show with me?" He's like, "Of course. Anything to support the Ted Show, I'll be there." Do the whole show. The entire show. Leave. I start getting calls. "Hey, you look good on the Ted Show. Too bad I couldn't hear you." I was like, "What are you talking about?"
Whoa.
There was no audio. Zero audio.
We fired that audio engineer. Well, I tried. I couldn't fire myself. It was all my fault.
No audio.
So I heard it was the best show you ever did.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, of the two shows I've done, that was by far and away the better
one.
The better show.
Requested, Mick.
Best ratings ever. One of my, a good friend of mine, the marketing rep actually for Wesh, Sally Stanton, came into my office not too long ago and said, "Hey, I saw you on that Ted Show." I was like, "What do you? Yeah, what is that Ted Show? Everyone wants to be on that show." I mean, what is the Ted Show, and how is it taking over the town?
Man, I love this. All right, first of all, thanks for having me again. It came from this idea that I could go live and talk about my business, which I'm a mortgage guy by trade, and then introduce the world to all these cool people that I get to meet because I grew up here, went to college here, raised a family here. Super involved in the community, and I thought, why not? Let's see what live does. I knew that I would OCD over anything that I had to. If I videoed it, I would want to tear it to shreds. Look at how bad I look on camera. Of course, these headsets. How did Mick, by the way, get away with no headset?
I don't know.
I'm trying to figure that out.
I've got ears in the back of my head.
You got the voice, and I also loved your intro, by the way. That's the voice for sure.
Yeah.
And then we just started doing it live from the Citrus Club, and I decided to do it every single day. And committed to it, and we just celebrated our 150th episode on Wednesday. Mayor Dyer was my guest and graciously accepted my invitation. I hope that does not hurt him in his race whenever he runs later. But he was gracious, and his staff were gracious, and it's been such a cool thing to get to know the community. And people do watch it. They come up and they'll say, "I saw you. I loved that show on XYZ." And I usually have to remind myself of who that person is, and it's kind of a cool little thing, man. It's been awesome.
So let's say you're on vacation in Cancun, right? Sitting at the bar, you meet a family from Wisconsin. They're like, "Oh, what do you do?" And you say, "Well, I'm a mortgage guy, but I also have the Ted Show." "Oh, what's the Ted Show?"
Okay, so I get asked that a lot. What is the TED Show? It's really just a Facebook Live show where we focus on community leaders. We talk about inspirational stuff. We try to help people with growing their business planning. I have 2 weekly series that we're doing, and we're about to launch another one in addition to the regular show, where we're talking about all sorts of topics. Like I have David Swanson, who's the head pastor at First Pres. We do a show once a week about death, dying, and what happens next.
Happy topics.
Yes, they're all good topics,
Oh,
Mick.
yeah.
I mean, it's just top of the morning to
Let's
you when
talk
we're
about those.
Justin Clark here with you with Ted Bogert from the Ted Show, talking about the daily show that he does at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
1 o'clock
typically?
every day. Yeah, 1 o'clock.
Is it
every
1
day.
o'clock like on the dot like a radio show, or can it be 1:05, 1:10?
No, it can, no. It's all right. It can go. Sometimes we do. Like today, we're going live at 10 a.m. or close to it. So we try to do 1 o'clock, and people actually tell me that they take their lunch break and watch the show.
That's fantastic.
The response has been amazing. Very blessed.
You do the show, or you tape or film or whatever the show at the Citrus Club downtown, I
Yes.
believe. How did that conversation go with the Citrus Club to where now they have a show going on inside of the walls of this restaurant club. How do you talk? How do you approach them about it, and what do they say?
So that's a great question. So I asked forgiveness. I did not ask permission. So we just started filming the show at the table that I sit at every single day, and put up that's the truth. We just put up that little stand. I hit live, and Gert Garman was my first guest back in August. And we just filmed it live, and nobody said a word. And then about a week into it, they started saying, "So what's going on with the little camera setup?" Everybody's asking. What we found, though, the club's been really gracious. Tonight I'm actually doing my second Friday night live show there. We do it the first Friday of every month, where the club sets up this really cool Jimmy Fallon looking, Johnny Carson looking desk set and everything. We get to interview 3 guests. So the club's been incredibly supportive.
Were they supportive from the beginning? I mean, there must have been a couple of diners who complained or something.
Oh, yeah.
How did they deal with that?
That's fantastic. So, yes, people were like, they didn't want to be in the shot. And, of course, my response was, well, I didn't want you in the shot either.
Good.
It works out for both of us. But the way Facebook Live, and maybe you can talk about some of the legalities of that, but I'm not specifically filming them. They're just walking in the actual shot. So they just don't sit there anymore. Yeah. But what we did also, because from a vocal standpoint, there was so much noise, and as you know, I don't have this beautiful studio that we're in right now. It's me and a camera and a stand. And so they have allowed me to go into private rooms of theirs and use those rooms as long as they're available.
Let's say someone's listening to Behind the Law with me, Attorney Justin Clark, right now, and they haven't seen your show, all right? They have social media, but they haven't seen the show. How do they actually go and find it where they can watch it?
Okay, so we mostly are filming the show either on Ted Bogert, my last name is Bogert, or The Ted Show. It's on Facebook. Bill Moore, who's here, has been helping me kind of go across multi-stream, so we can stream across more than one platform, not just Facebook. We can do it across Periscope and other social media platforms. But look up Ted Bogert or The Ted Show. We've got all sorts of social media in both of those names.
Is there a website?
There is. You guys are good. This is what professionals do. It's thetedshow.com. Real easy. I made it. That's why I picked The TED Show. I knew I would actually remember the name of that show.
From the time that you had the dream at night, or you were getting a massage and thought I should do this show.
Where I'm at all the time with it. When I'm in Cancun, I'm getting a massage.
It's great. But at some point, something's clicked in your head. I should think about doing this show. From the time you initially had that first thought to actually sitting down there at the Citrus Club that first day, hitting play on the camera. How long was that?
That's an excellent question. So a friend of mine, Evan Clausen, and I were brainstorming, and it's not as glamorous as getting a massage or Cancun.
Or fun.
Or fun, yeah. There was a cocktail or 10 involved at the time. And he said, your whole life is like a show. You should get a URL, a website, call it The TED Show, and then build around it. So from that time to the actual launch of a show was about 2 years.
Really?
It was. I didn't do anything with that URL for 2 years. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And then Facebook Live looked easy, and it really is, people. I promise you, it's not as hard as it looks. You hit the button and you go live. It's not difficult. And so when that platform came out, it just made it incredibly, I was like, that's what I need to do. I need to do something live. It needs to be short and sweet, and it needs to be social media driven.
Did you go into it thinking I'm going to do this show 5 days a week, or were you thinking maybe I'll do once a week or twice a week? I mean, 5 days a week doing anything is work. Is it not?
It takes some time. It's not as bad as you would think. Our city and our community is full of amazing people. And if you take the fact that Facebook Live has added a whole beautiful remote part to it, where it looks split screen as if you're on headline news, and I can interview people all over the world on the TED Show Live, I think that it opens up a whole new world for people to get to know people across and actually see people and talk to people and interact other than typing on your phone and social media.
And you might actually sell some real estate.
I might. Yeah. I might get a mortgage or two.
There you go.
It's one thing getting a guest like Justin Clark, right? No one cares about that. It's
No.
another thing getting the mayor of one of the largest cities in America. How does that happen? How do you go from just starting this little thing in the Citrus Club to now the mayor's coming into your office?
See, you do real R&D. We joke that I only have a $1.99 budget for research and development on the show.
Trust me.
And that all goes to my cocktails. But So I'm super involved in the community, and I live my life. If they can't say no if you don't ask. So I happened to be on the mayor's academy this year, but last year I was on the flag creation committee for the city. And so I just reached out and said, I've got 150th episode coming up. My vision is to have Mayor Dyer on it. And, you can say no, but I'm going to ask. And they made it happen within like a week, less than a week.
Where did you grow up?
I was born in Jersey, but I grew up here. I went to Liberty Middle School, Colonial High School, bachelor's and master's at UCF. Raised my family here and kind of have roots here. And then Stacy, my wife, she was born here. So we are deeply rooted here.
How important, guys, do you think it is where you grow up? And I ask this because I have a weird sort of upbringing, I guess. I spent most of my childhood in Tennessee, southern Tennessee. And then the day I graduated college, like the day, I packed up a U-Haul truck and moved to Boston. Now, do you know how many people I knew in Boston at the time?
Zero.
Not one single person. So I moved to Boston and go to law school, spend the next 4 or 5 years in Boston. I get cold, right? Because it was much like a year like today. It's April and it's still snowing there. I was like, I gotta get the hell out of this place. I mean, there's no way I'm spending one more April getting snowed in. It's not gonna happen. So then I packed up a U-Haul truck, moved to Miami, South Beach, of course. And you know how many people I knew? Zero. 0.0. So now I'm a 25-year-old guy living in a city that I don't know anyone, right? And then what do? 2 years later, I pack up and I move to Orlando. You know how many people I knew in Orlando? Zero, not one
Here we
single
got
person.
zero again.
So now I've been here about 10 years and never would have thought I would have ever ended up in Orlando, Florida. But what a fantastic town it really is. And we're going to talk more about that just on the other side of this break. Bud 94.1, my name is Justin Clark. If you have any questions, 321-282-1055. Talk to you in just a minute.
Well, this
Good
is going
job
to be
so far.
one of those shows that it goes like that.
Yeah,
I mean,
quickly.
Wait a minute, we're out of time.
We're
How's
still
he
live.
Is Buddy going to get his own flag?
His own flag? Do they do that? I should have asked him that.
You should have asked him that.
Well, they were really
Because there was such a big
I think he's restarting it.
We're good. Let's do it.
Go ahead, whenever.
We're ready. Oh,
Okay.
hey, yeah. Oh, me, yes.
Welcome back
I
to the TED
see.
Show, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Justin Clark. I'm the host for today of the TED Show.
Thank God somebody
This is my
knows
guest,
what we're
Ted
doing.
Bogerts. We're going to go back on the radio now.
Oops.
Thanks for being here and joining us. Huh? Sure. We're ready.
Are we ready? Okay. So
You can hear me.
Here, wait. Cool. Here we go.
Welcome back to Behind the Law with me, attorney Justin Clark, here on Bud 94.1. Any legal question that you may have, 321-282-1055. The website, www.youhavepower.com. We're here to answer any legal question that you may have. I've got Mick Dolan joining me, Skid as always, and Marketing Jake's back there as well. We have a special guest today, Ted Bogerts, a good friend of mine and the host of the TED Show on social media around the world. And just a player. He's just a player in this community. That's all there is to it. You know everybody. But when I think about social media and a show like yours that's digital, so to speak, it makes me think of fragmentation. And a lot of people have stopped advertising on television.
Yes.
And things like that because there's such fragmentation. And, well, no one's watching A&E in the middle of the night, you know? But with social media, it's starting to get fragmented as well in a lot of ways. So you have Facebook or you have Pinterest and this and that. I mean, how do you decide really where to run the show and how to do it efficiently where you post it here, you post it there? I mean, it's getting fragmented as well, social media.
It is.
What do you guys do?
So, and by we, Bill's helping me here, but I'll tell you, it's not, so far from me, not that big of a deal. I find it to be still incredibly easy, Justin, to utilize it. I do the videos I do the Facebook Live on Facebook, obviously. And then now what we're doing, one of the reasons Bill is here is we're experimenting with multi-streaming across different platforms all at once, instead of having 6 different cameras up and rolling, or 6 different phones, or 3 laptops and 2 cameras. It's actually, they've made the technology pretty easy. So as long as you have content's king, as you know. You've got the content, you've got the people, and you're changing it up, and you're delivering consistent content, you're golden, I think. And I also keep it to 30 minutes. So we're in and out in 30 minutes. If I make a mistake, or it's 10 minutes I cut it off too early, or I don't take a cue from somebody trying to tell me to announce my show, then that's awesome, and it's caught live, and people like that kind of authenticity. It's real. Yeah, that's what it is.
Do you do any prep at all? Or is it, how do you prep for a guest?
So I prep for a guest. I ask them for their bio. I scan it, and then I don't look at it again until the interview. I do absolutely no prep at all. I feel like I know enough to be dangerous, and the conversation will naturally go. And so far, that has not failed me.
Is this one of those deals where you're lazy, but it just sort of works out? Or is this the real play? Kind of like, here's the deal. So I feel like because this is a radio show, even though you can see it on TV or different places, I'm like, I don't have to shave or anything. Also, like when it comes to me going to the office, you're not really going to catch me in the office in a suit mostly. So my excuse is it makes my clients feel more comfortable. But I think maybe it's just lazy. I don't want to put on a suit. You know, is your non-prep a plan or laziness?
You know, I don't think it's a laziness. I don't feel like it's laziness.
Okay.
What I really feel like is I don't want ever to get to the point where I have prepped questions. I've had guests that say, Ted, here are the 10 questions, and I tell them that this is the wrong show for you.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to ever get into that. I want it to be completely interactive. I want to know enough about them. Like, I know you're an attorney, and I had you on for a specific reason, not just to come on and talk about legal, but because of Irma originally. So there was a point to it, but I also wanted to know about you. And sometimes the best way to know about you is to ask questions, basic questions, and see where the conversation goes.
And we have guests on the show as well, and we go through the same charade. We send an email, here are the directions to the station, here's what time to be there, and not a whole lot else. And then sometimes the guest will reply back with 8 paragraphs of questions, and can you tell me exactly what you're going to ask? And it's like, it's really, we're just kind of going to wrap, But I also am cognizant of the fact that they probably haven't been on the radio or the TED Show before, so you want to make them comfortable, of course, but you have to explain, like, I'm not going to ask you anything terrible. I'm not going to throw you under the bus. we're just gonna rap for an hour. I mean, that's sort of what we do on
It's
this
a
show.
discussion between friends is how I tell them. And I tell them not to get caught up on looking at the phone. I actually think when I first did radio a couple of times, that this was more intimidating to me. That's why I took these off. Like, I don't like the headset. This in your face can be very intimidating. For me, it's just you, or on my show, we're just talking and we're kind of looking at the camera and kind of looking at each other.
In a weird way, I feel like I can be more honest and open with you guys in a setting like this. This is the weirdest thing. I feel like I can talk more openly here, and I'm more comfortable here than I even am sometimes. Like if Mick and I are having a beer. It's the weirdest thing. I don't know why. I mean, do you feel pretty comfortable when you hit play on the TED show and you have a guest sitting there?
Yes.
Is that a comfortable place
I'm
for you?
so comfortable with it, and I spend probably the reason I get them there a little early. I get them there about 30 minutes early. I say it's to mic check, but it's really to have a conversation to calm them down because most people really are nervous. I've even had local news people on that have said, I've never had a one-on-one conversation like this, and they were a little bit nervous about not the content, but how it was going to look. And they're used to having people prep them, for example. Or on the other side, I've had people who've never done anything, ever spoken on the radio, never done a Facebook Live, don't even like video where it's family. I mean, they're very nervous.
Behind the wall with me, attorney Justin Clark, 321-282-1055. Interview with Ted Bogert from the TED Show. Marketing Jake can attest to this one, actually, Ted. So you do the TED Show at the Citrus Club, which has a ding 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 dress code.
Yes, it does.
So how do you prep?
I sneak in the back.
So there's a dress code. I mean, when you send the email to the guests, do you tell them what they have to wear? And second part, what happens when they show up with the Yankees cap or the sneakers? Boy, Jake, because he couldn't get in.
It's true. So the club has gotten a lot better over the last 5 years. You can wear jeans if they're nice jeans. You have to wear a collared shirt. No banged up tennis shoes. You're pretty solid. But if I have not enjoyed a drink or coffee with someone at the club, or I don't know they're already a member, I'll ask them, do you know what the dress code is? Because I've had people show up in bright yellow shorts. Very nice gentleman showed up in bright yellow running shorts and yellow running shoes, and his comment was, it was my day off, so I figured it was okay to wear this. My comment was, that's not going to change the dress code at Citrus Club. So yeah, I do, and it can be. It's a little embarrassing, and that's why I really try to prep people. I'm like, you can't come in your romper, you can't come in your tank top, or your ugly-looking shoes, or no shoes. I had somebody show up once, and they said, well, you can't make this up, Mick, you can't. Somebody showed up once, and they were barefoot, and they said, well, one of my shoes broke, so I figured it was okay. No, let's put the broken shoe back on, and let's walk around, and then, but it's not as stuffy as it seems to be.
I read an interview with you the other day, and your quote was, "We are not QVC." What do you mean by that?
You do research. Oh my God.
I spent hours
I'm
researching.
literally going to feel so bad at the end of
No
this.
idea.
My guests are going to hold me to a higher accountability standard.
He's actually just getting started.
Oh, great.
The bad stuff's in the second half.
That means that if you're coming on to sell your wares, if you're coming on and you have a product to sell and that's what you think the focus is going to be, I'm not the show for you. So if you want to come on and you want to talk about this water and that's your whole show and that's what you're promoting, then I send you up the road and you got to go somewhere else. Because the show is about content. It's about interaction. And so I always say, well, what's your story? What's the story behind why you want to sell this? Where did you grow up? And so I want to know the basic story, and 90% of the time I can just get the story and we never talk about the water.
What's in it for you? I know this is maybe a weird question, but you spend a lot of time on this TED Show, right? I mean, you have your own businesses and things. I mean, what's in it for you? Are you doing this really just for philanthropic means, or I mean, is this a business thing for you?
These are really good questions. I'm proud of you. This is good. You have a whole research team, don't you?
No, I'm just curious.
All in his head.
It's all in his head. That's a great question. So originally it started out as a way for me to passively market the mortgage business. Talk about it maybe for 5 seconds on the show, have the video in perpetuity so that I could share it if I wanted to, and focus on the people. So I'm not in your face. It goes back to the QVC thing. But it has grown into something that people are interested in sponsoring the show now. People are interested in providing merchandise for the show. People are interested in sponsoring some of the weekly shows that we're doing. And so that has led to it becoming kind of a business, which I never anticipated at all. Never, ever.
You need to put some water in there.
I do, right?
No, Justin, get that Justin
Yeah, right.
water.
He could be our water provider.
That's right.
Still never the official water provider of Ted
He
Show.
should totally do
I've been
that.
aspiring for that for many years. It's clear to me that philanthropy is a big part of your life, and that comes out in the TED Show every single day. You obviously care about your community. I find that many people out there actually have some money, and they actually want to get involved, but they're shy, or they're too quiet. Let's say that someone's listening to the radio show right now, and really wants to help get involved with the community. What sort of advice would you give? You're obviously out there. I mean, if someone really wants to get involved in the community and help out some way, but they're shy, but they don't have the contacts that you have, I mean, what would be a good starting point?
Another great question. So I always tell people, ask yourself what your passion is. What are you passionate about? Is it pets? Is it cats? Is it dogs? Is it kids? Is it people with cancer? What's impacted your life in a way that you are passionate enough to get involved? And it doesn't have to be about the check. It's really about the involvement. And then once you know that, there's so many resources.
That's the 1 minute. No, we have time. So if you're watching,
it's all right. You're like, God bless it,
so
Ted.
those of you watching on a TED Show, Skid will give us the 1 minute mark, saying, all right, it's about time to take
I
a
like
break.
that, though. I need that.
Everybody generally doesn't
Clearly
use
this.
this.
I can see how you feel about this TED Show. Here we go. Number one, that's good.
So you'd be surprised in radio too how long the minute. Like when they say you have a minute left, you automatically want to say, "Oh, we better wrap up the segment." But really, a minute could be a little bit.
That's
you know,
true. That's true.
It takes a little bit of time. So the minute just means time to start. Maybe asking the last question of this particular segment.
So I'd say reach out to me. That's what I would tell. People ask. Use me as a resource.
So you would help people get involved.
100%. Absolutely.
We have plenty more ahead with Ted Bogert from the TED Show. My name is Justin Clark on my favorite radio station, Bud 94.1.
Alrighty then.
Good question. I can send you
Yeah,
Dan.
there you go.
For Justin Clark and Associates.
Yes. This is QVC. Here we go. That was a good question.
We got cases of
It
water.
must have come from my O-Town paper.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. She did a great job. She was awesome.
What else do you want to hit with him?
God, I don't know. Your questions are awesome. I like the community part. That was good. Maybe finding guests who want to be, who are interested, how that all works.
You gonna do anything for the county mayor's race?
So I've had Pete Clark on,
Okay.
and I'm open, and that's a good question too, politics, because I've had people go, well, what does it take to be on your show? And I can share my thought process on that.
Ready when you are, Skid.
Hi guys, we love you.
And welcome back to the show. My name is Justin Clark. The name of the show, Behind the Law. Thank you for spending some of your weekend here with me. 321-282-1055. The website, www.youhavepower.com. That is youhavepower.com. We got the whole crew here today. Mick Dolan, the Orlando radio legend, is here as always. What's up, Al?
You're killing me.
You're killing me. Good, man. This is good.
But by legend, I don't mean old. I mean, you're a legend around here. I mean, everyone knows that.
In somebody's mind.
Mick, before we go any further, I think that Ted's audience here, maybe they're new to Bud 94.1. I mean, this is a new station here. We're trying to really take over the rock community here.
It's a grassroots
And
movement.
it's a
It really
station that's really filling in. We haven't had a really good rock station around here in a while. I mean,
Well, you got rock stations, but they're all corporate stuff. It's all playlists. You got to do this, got to do that.
And
it's like, nah.
you're really
I
the
don't buy
face of Bud 94.1. How would you describe Bud 94.1 to the
Serious.
There's the space and the
This
voice, I should
face,
say.
oh, come on.
Come on. It's
The voice, yes. The face, they got to work on it.
And Skid's here as well. Skid's the afternoon guy with Chad on our sister station, 103.1 The Wolf. Great station as well. We listen to you guys every afternoon. How do you describe The Wolf? What are you guys?
Well, we're countries and throwbacks, and Chad and I just kind of yuck it up for a few hours and try to, make people laugh, and if we do, then we succeed.
Spread a little joy.
Yes.
There you go.
I would say that, unfortunately, in the radio world, and even in this market, especially maybe even this market, these big, huge clusters that have popped up have made it so unbelievable corporate and commercial. And at JDC, that's not what we do here. I mean, this is a family atmosphere. Just as you saw, every single person in this studio came in to say hi.
Yeah.
You just don't get that at these huge clusters of radio stations anymore that one company owns 18,000 radio stations. It's ridiculous. I mean, these are real down-home, awesome radio stations, 103.1 The Wolf and Bud 94.1, which is where we're broadcasting today. I really think you should listen. I mean, fantastic radio stations, and you two do such a fantastic job on the air.
Awesome plug.
I love it, right? He's good.
We are recording this.
That's what I owe you.
Okay.
That's very true. Cash is fine.
That's right. Under the table.
So on this, Ted, on this show, we have guests quite a bit. We have a lot of political guests on this show as well, and sometimes when I have political guests, I find myself completely disinterested in whether they voted for the Canadian Railway in 2002, but I'm really find myself interested in the politician, the person, the human being.
Right.
How do you, when you go looking for guests or people approach you to be guests, what are you looking for?
So specifically on the people in politics, my one rule is that we're not going to bash anybody. So if your whole platform is to come on the show and talk negative about whatever the other party is or the other candidates are or whatever, then this, again, is the wrong show for you. And I've had to actually turn people away because that's really the only thing they know how to do. So if you cannot figure out how to spend 30 minutes talking about what you believe in as a politician on my show, then you ought to really reconsider everything you're doing, and that's kind of the message. So nobody can come on and bash, nobody can come on and be negative. We're going to have audience members that will question. We're going to have audience members that will engage. And my only thing to the person who comes on is, just remember that this is live and how you respond people are watching.
Yeah.
And so if it gets too bad, I move them from the TED Show sandbox into another sandbox. And I had to do that before, too.
How much time do you have to spend trying to find guests? I mean, is that a huge part of your day, going out and trying to find guests, or people approaching you?
It's a fantastic question. So I have enough guests to book through the end of summer.
Wow.
So
we're in what, April? May,
Yeah,
June,
we
July?
are.
I'm not good at math, but it seems like
It's, and the great thing about it is, so I don't post too far in advance because things do come up, but I have shows that will come up. So if I may have a plan to do only 5 shows in a week, and somebody will come to me and say, I've got this amazing charity event that's coming up. Do you think we have a separate show called the Sidebar Show that we do about 15 minutes, and it's more about promoting something in the community, like your event on the 14th. We'd want to promote, and that would be a quick 15 minutes, talk a little bit about Justin, but talk mostly about the organization and what the event is. And so I don't have any trouble finding guests. People now are sending me multiple guests, introducing me to people. People are seeing the show, and then they're reaching out and saying, I love the content of the show. Here's my story, and I'd love to be on your show. And so I'm not having to do any work on reaching out to people.
So what is, you talked a little bit earlier about this once a month Friday night show.
Yes.
What is that again?
All right, so the club, Citrus Club, which is where we shoot the show, the general manager there is really forward-thinking, creative, and he said, I've got this idea. I'd really love for you to do a nighttime show at the club. We'll set it up. It'll look like a real talk show where you've got the 3 seats, and you've got your desk and your microphone. The lighting will be great. The speakers will be up. And so we do the show live in the lounge at the Citrus Club, and we stream it across Facebook and the rest of our social media. And the ultimate plan is to bring that, to kind of make that we Because what we're doing is we're focusing on members. We're focusing on members and trying to bring them into the spotlight so that they get more value out of their club, but also to get them used to utilizing this kind of medium. And then we also focus on an employee partner. So tonight we're going to have our head chef. It's head chef, right, Reiner? He'll probably kill me, but you know what I mean. The main chef, our main guy. And he's going to talk. Yeah. Yeah. This is why I have cocktails.
It's too early.
But the club's been so gracious about that. But it's cool. We probably had 150, I don't know, I'd say 50 to 75. I think it was more like 100 people in the lounge. Watched the show live. The audience was engaged. The guests were engaged. It's the first time that I had done it live with, I've had people in the audience at the club like you guys, but I've never had an audience that's watching the show. That was fascinating.
That's a lot of people, really. I mean, now, has the Citrus Club admitted to you that they've actually picked up members because of your show? I mean, have they had that talk there? Hey, look, Ted, we want to thank you. We really picked up some members because of what you're doing.
I think that they haven't come out and said that, but I think that was sort of the initial, hey, we appreciate that. Why don't we bump it up a notch? You can utilize the club. It'll be good for your show, but also good for them. They've been very grateful and thankful in a lot of different ways.
They should be.
You should get a free locker, free booze locker at the very least. You know what I mean?
I did it there one time, and I felt like you say you have to wear shoes in there. I'm sorry. Because I didn't want to mess anything up.
Oh no, it's not like that. I promise.
We thought you were going to say you were pissed because you had to put on shoes.
No. I do wear shoes, but seriously, I wouldn't want to mess the place up.
No, you know what's great about that is it's just so to come up with me and have a cocktail. It's the lounge area is a lounge. It's meant to be. 5 years ago when they redid it, they made the lounge the focal point instead of the formal dining room, and so they broadened it, made it bigger. It's like going into a beautiful big bar.
Really.
Behind the Law with me, attorney Justin Clark on Bud 94.1 321-282-1055. YouHavePower.com with Ted Bogert at the TED Show. What is this TED program you created?
Wow, you really are doing research. All right, so you asked earlier about what was happening, what was only doing things philanthropically. And so what's happened is people watch. They really do pay attention. You know that. If you do anything social media or you do anything on TV or radio, they're listening, they're watching. So people said, I would really like help learning how to brand myself like you do, learning how to network, learning how to build my business in this new world of social media and all of the other things that don't cost a ton of money, like postcards and mailers and the traditional. And so out of that, I could have spent, talking about philanthropy, every single day doing nothing but consulting people. And so that's what I was doing. And so finally it dawned on me, I could charge for this. I could be a real legit coach, for lack of a better word. And I didn't know how people would respond to that because everything has been philanthropic. And I never charge a guest to come on. But if out of it somebody wants me to teach them how to do what I do and that becomes a paying client, it took me a while to really buy into that because it's very hard when you try to value your stuff. I'm not, attorneys make what, $700-800 an hour?
Yeah, right.
And so I'm like, I didn't know what to do. People were really demanding it in a positive way. And so that's how the TED program came about. I wanted it to be TED stands for, I know this is basic, another reason why my kids want to kill me. TED stands for Thoughtful Entrepreneurship Through Discovery. And basically that's what we do. What do you want to do and why? What's your big why? What's your big what? And then I take them through a program that gets them to eventually be on the TED Show, but more importantly, business planning, networking, introductions, building their database, getting them out in a way so that they can take the next step in their business. Most people feel like they get to the stagnant point and they don't know what to do. Yeah. And they don't want the traditional coaching. I'm not a traditional coach at all. I really get involved, nitty gritty. It's not just about 15-minute check-in phone call. We really get down to business with that.
Some of the most memorable guests. You have one or two that really come to mind, and have you cried on the show?
Okay, so that is a great question. What I find interesting about the crying is that it is almost always men. I haven't counted in a while, but last count we had over 30 men that have cried on the show.
Is that right? I didn't know this.
And it takes you. You're right. Right. That would be bad. Nobody would come on. These are criers. But that to me, when you and the reason I think that happens is because men tend to not talk about anything that's feeling related.
Yeah.
So when I'm asking a question, sometimes that's the first time they've said it out loud, and that catches them off guard and they lose it. And it's a powerful, really cool, powerful moment.
Any guest in particular that really stood out when you think back on all the 150 shows that you've done? You're like, wow, I just had no idea. It really stuck with you.
So I recently had we're doing a lot of promotion for Cattle Barons Ball, which benefits American Cancer Society, and I kept asking to have the presenting sponsor, the honorary chair, Ernie Harville, on from Harville's Produce, and he was totally did not want to come on. He was nervous. Sweet man, got on, and he was a gem. He cried on the show a couple of times. And I just felt like that was the kind of authenticity and vulnerability that people respond to. And it was so good to see him open up like that, for people to get to see him like that.
I kind of cried on the show once. I've done Behind the Law for maybe 7, 8 years, something like that. And I kind of cried one time, only a few weeks ago.
What was the topic?
I'm going to tell you. Here's how you do radio, ladies and
Oh,
gentlemen. I cried on this show one time. And I'm going to tell you about that right on the other side of this break. On 94.1.
That's how you do radio. And we don't get that on Facebook Live. That's awesome. Yeah, it's funny because people really do get emotional. And then it's very hard. Like,
welcome back to the show. One more segment of Behind the Law with me, attorney Justin Clark. Any questions that you may have will be answered at 321-282-1055. Plenty of information on the website, www.youhavepower.com. We're broadcasting live today on The Ted Show with Ted Bogert and right here on Bud 94.1. And I'm interviewing my good friend, the founder and host and owner, everything of The Ted Show.
I like this.
That's
good.
Ted Bogert. What's up, Ted? We got
What's up, buddy?
12 more minutes
So I've got a question
Radio
for you, though.
Bliss.
I haven't had
Go
a chance.
ahead.
So you asked me about my why on the social media. Why do you do the radio show?
The radio show for me has always been a platform to really for my clients to get to know me a little bit better, as opposed to you can see me on TV on a 15-second or 30-second commercial spot where I'm sitting on the stoop and saying, "Oh, if you have problems, call me." But I feel like there's so many lawyers out there advertising, and they all kind of seem the same or whatever. I wanted my clients and potential clients to really get to know me a little bit better, and it doesn't hurt that my whole passion in life up until I went to law school was to be a broadcaster. I was a broadcasting major in college. I just didn't want. I just was afraid I was going to be poor starting out. In broadcasting, you don't make a lot of. No matter what you do in broadcasting, when you first get out of school, you're not going to make money. And I grew up relatively poor, so I was like, I guess I'll go to law school. So it wasn't like I woke up when I was 5 saying I'm going to be a lawyer for the rest of my life. I wanted to be a broadcaster, but then I decided to go to law school, and this is a way to sort of bridge that gap as well.
I think attorneys, I think people have a natural fear of attorneys or intimidated by attorneys. Yeah. So I absolutely believe that you having the commercials and having the show, you let down your guard. You become more vulnerable, and people respond to that when they're, especially if you're looking for an attorney and you're going through something horrible. You want somebody who can relate, or at least you feel like they're going to care. And it's not just a check and an hourly rate. Empathy,
absolutely.
Yes.
And there's no doubt about it. Like I told you before the break, where I cried on the show one time, it wasn't too long ago. I had my shrink on the show, right? So I didn't tell you guys, but Dwight Bain, who's probably the most
I love Dwight Bain.
One of the most well-renowned mental health counselors in Florida, for sure, probably nationwide, really got Pilar and I through a very difficult time, an hour early relationship when. Look, relationships are tough no matter what, and we had a kid like 3 months after getting to know each other, right? So we were trying to learn each other and learn how to be parents, and we hated each other for a long time. And she's not going to get mad at me for saying this. We did. We didn't get along, but we had this beautiful baby at home. Right. Beautiful Sophia at home. We both come from broken families. We both didn't have a dad around at all, so we were sort of committed to trying to make it work. And that's why we started seeing Dwight Bain, who was absolutely terrific. And so I just had my second child, Mila, a month ago, and Dwight came in to be a guest on this show, and I was telling the story about how I wouldn't have, I have 2 little girls at home who certainly wouldn't wake up in the morning and have mommy and daddy to look forward to when they walk down the stairs if it weren't for him. And it's true. Right. This wasn't radio show fodder. It's 100% true. And it got me touched up and a little emotional.
Awesome.
I know.
Yeah, great story.
But that was the only time. But it was a very true story. He knows it's true, and I've told him 1,000 times.
That's what people respond to. That's what I found for any medium, social media, radio. You can't fake that. There's no way, unless you are the best Academy Award-winning actor, people can read through fake and they hate it. They really don't respond well to it. So you allowing yourself to be vulnerable and authentic, that says a lot, and that says a lot to your audience.
Thank you very much. And so you get this question all the time. Where do you buy the jacket? Where do you get the shirt? Because everywhere I go with you, they always say great jacket or whatever. Do you have a certain place you buy the? I literally was, if I had more time, I was going to buy kind of a funky jacket for the show today. But you know how life works.
What's sweet about that is that I have people that actually go out and shop now to get jackets when they're coming on as a guest.
Oh yeah,
yes.
I at least I thought about it. I didn't make it all the way.
And there is. So I've always liked kind of different clothes, but I can't take any credit for it. My wife Stacy loves to shop and knows the places to go, and I try to remember like what it is, like adult Garanimals. Like I try to remember what goes and what doesn't, down to the shoes and socks. But there are some days when she's
You
gone
do?
off to school. Yeah, right? You're not sure this morning, right? But there are days when she goes off to work, and I look at the closet and go, "Oh my God, I have no idea what matches." So we actually had a plan, right? See, Mick loves this outfit. But yeah, no, people do respond. They remember it, and if I don't wear a jacket, people will say, "Where's your jacket?" Or they'll say, "Ted, that's muted today." Or I mean, and they're very kind but very honest on the show, and that's the other great thing about Facebook Live is you get that immediate feedback.
What do you see as the next steps for the TED Show? And you might not know, but in your vision, what are you seeing happening with the TED Show over the next couple of years?
We're stepping into sponsorship. That has been a very interesting trial and tribulation for me because, again, I don't want to take away from the very cool organic show that we've been able to build grassroots, but it's there, and so in order for me to move further, I need to consider that, and so we've really spent a lot of time doing that, and then I've had offers to do film in real studios, local studios, people who want to take the show to the next level. I don't know what that looks like. I'm a little afraid of it, I have to tell you, because I love the comfort of being able to be impactful in the community without having to answer to anybody and having to worry about a big production team. But then again, I think I could do a whole lot more if I broaden my horizons.
You know, you have something good that you created that really no one else around here has created. So this is my advice to you, I would say. I don't think that if you were to have a sponsor or a couple of sponsors, I do not you're allowed in the United States of America to capitalize on something that's special that you created. So I wouldn't be afraid to do it. You know, maybe don't jump in all the way into the deep end. Maybe you start a little bit slowly. But I don't think there's anything wrong with capitalizing on something very special that you've created.
Thank you.
Mick, what do you think, pal?
I totally agree. I mean, you need to build that, and people understand that you have to have sponsors. Somebody's got to make this work. You know,
That's
somebody's
right.
got to financially help this out, and so you're just using these tools to better the program.
And it's also that, look, you're doing it every day. It's 5 days a week. I know that it's somewhat fun for you, but maybe you want to go to St. Augustine for a long weekend, but you say, well, I don't really want to leave until Friday at 2 because I want to do the TED Show. As opposed to leaving Thursday at noon and getting an extra night there. I mean, it is a job in a way, so don't be afraid to capitalize on that job. And I think people are still going to recognize the organic, philanthropic, and just good for the community aspect of the TED Show.
Thank you. And it's been the reason why I had trouble is I just had this horrible vision of, you know, the people that spend the first 10 minutes of every show talking about how amazing XYZ Swiffer is, and I just had no desire to be that person. I would laugh, and I believe that my audience would see through it if I didn't believe in the product too, or the person that's actually advertising or being a sponsor. And so that's also what's taken a little bit of time, is finding that right mix.
You need a clothing manufacturer.
I do. So let's talk about that really fast.
All right, please.
So I have been asking on the show, this is the one plug that I will do. I would love to have somebody local who would let me borrow, because that's what they do, and you know, we celebrities, they let you borrow the clothes, but you're promoting them, right?
Right.
So I've had everything from Ted, you're too old, you're not our particular market, and so it's been a challenge. I can't find anyone who's willing to take that chance, and I can't figure out why, because they're the first people that go, I love your jacket, I love your show. It's been the strangest thing.
There you go. They'd love it.
They might love that, Mick.
He won't admit it, folks, but he's probably found some of these jackets at Goodwill.
And if anyone has any shoes for Mick as well, send them on. That would be fantastic.
I love it.
So let's say you do find a sponsor. What is your vision for how that would actually show up on the show? Like, okay, we have these water bottles here that are a little bit annoying. Would it be you say something about the product? You wear the product? I mean, how would you really inject this sponsorship into the TED Show, do you think?
And that's been the challenge. It's been the reason why we haven't pulled the trigger. Is I'm really experimenting with it. So the way I'd like to see it is to give some airtime, just even if it's 10 seconds. That's not where the power of it is, though. The power is in the sharing of the video and all of the pre and post show social media pushes that we do.
Right.
tagging them, sharing their URL, sharing their product information. The mention on the show isn't as powerful to me as all of that other stuff is, because people don't remember a URL or a web address when you spew it out. They've got to, or that's why you say it 5 times, right? People they don't write it down. But when you're promoting, they'll go, they can just go to Attorney Justin Clark and find the URL. But social media allows you to do all of that. And so I think the post and the pre-show part would be what I would.
Is it possible to do a scroll across a Facebook Live?
So we're working. So
You
Bill,
know, the website, here's the website, and it's down there where nobody.
my friend Bill Moore, who's been here.
Who's here? I didn't want to say hi because I didn't know if he wanted me to say hello on
Hi,
the air.
Bill.
Bill Moore is here, by
Bill
the way.
Moore. He's been
fantastic
incredibly
guy.
helpful. And so there is, to answer your question, I didn't know that there was,
Yeah.
but there is a way to have it scrolling. So Bill has been really helpful in trying to get me to that next level. So yes, there could be a scrolling thing. There could be in between. There could be. There are a lot of ways for me to do it that I didn't realize you could do.
Yeah.
Because I really didn't want to. Like the 50s and 60s, where the stars would stop the show
Right.
and turn to the camera and break the fourth wall and talk about, their cigarettes. I didn't want that to be me.
Product placement.
Product placement.
There you go.
But I did have somebody come on the show, Sue Hannah, and she doesn't mind me telling the story. She came on. She was afraid to death of being on the show, and she brought all of her wares. She brought 15 T-shirts, all her branding stuff, and so Charnel Wright was helping me with the show at the time, and she wouldn't let go of the T-shirts. She sat the entire interview because she thought she was there to talk about the T-shirts. And at the very end, she said, "You were right, Ted. We didn't even talk about the T-shirts." So the product placement even on the shows, like Justin's got these up here, but I don't even know if anybody can see them.
It's really just so we don't get thirsty.
They're really good. They're
There
really
you go.
good.
So how do you think it went? I mean, we did a TED show here on
I
this
love it.
camera, and then we did a radio show at the same time. I'm really looking forward to hearing what your audience has to say about the sort of behind-the-scenes radio show that we did on the TED show. And I just want to say thank you
Thank
very
you
much for
so
being here with us
man.
today. You know I love you.
appreciate it.
Anything
Love
you ever
man.
need, we're here for you.
I know.
For
Appreciate it.
Mick Dolan, he is Ted Bogert. Skid's pushing the buttons today. My name is Justin Clark, and Mick, I don't know much, but I do know one thing.
What's that?
I will see you right back here next Saturday on Bud 94.1.
Absolutely. Got it. Good one. Guys, I got to run.
All right.
Awesome.
I got a show to do.
Nice
Sorry.
to meet you.
Okay, I'm going to get out of this. There we go.
Thank you
See
so much.
Love the
Thanks, Mick.
Thanks, buddy.
See you later. Okay, man. Good to see you.
You're good at that, buddy.
Hey, not really. We
Yes,
try our best. Some days better than others. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
That's right. We were live on YouTube.